Hello, my name is Sarita Nolan, and today I will be discussing a systematic review of universal preventive interventions designed to improve mental, emotional, and behavioral health in children under the age of 13. Many mental, emotional, and behavioral disorders, or MEB disorders, develop by the age of 14 years. Multiple factors contribute to their emergence, including the child's susceptibility to their physical, psychosocial, and cultural environment, including exposure to adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs. Environmental experiences and exposures, when detrimental, can lead to epigenetic modifications in the way genes are expressed or suppressed that in turn often manifest as MEB disorders. Due to heightened vulnerability during childhood to these influences and ultimate outcomes, the present systematic review included studies of preventative interventions focusing on birth to pre-adolescence. Intervening during this period of heightened sensitivity to the environment is critical to avert trajectories away from MEB disorders. As such, a review of the evidence amassed to date indicative of which interventions possess the greatest potential to improve outcomes is a crucial undertaking. Our aim was to review studies that investigated universal preventive interventions where participants were not selected based on risk in children from birth to 12 years old to foster emotionally supportive environments that may serve as protective factors against MEB disorders. Our research question is as follows. Does the body of evidence generated by rigorously conducted studies suggest that universal preventive interventions in family, community, healthcare, and school settings in recipients from birth to 12 years old avert the development of MEB disorders later in life? To conduct this review, relevant articles were collected from 5 databases, and these included SynHull, NBase, PsycInfo, PubMed, and Web of Science, as seen in Figure 1. The search strategy was designed to retrieve as many studies as possible that were conducted as outlined in our objectives. Papers were retrieved, limited to those published from January 2010 to July 29, 2020, which was a period during which a notable increase in prevention research was prompted in response to the release of the Institute of Medicine, or IOM, report. Search strategies were defined for each database using controlled vocabulary and keywords. This prospective search strategy and protocol creation is what differentiates a systematic review from any other type of literature review through reproducibility. A critical aspect of the protocol is how studies were included and excluded. For example, studies that met the following criteria were excluded: cohort or observational studies without an intervention, longitudinal studies without an intervention, selective and indicated preventative interventions, educational and physical outcomes without an explicit tie to the prevention of mental, emotional, and behavioral disorders, outcomes for parents and teachers without presenting outcomes for children. Now, systematic reviews require the assessment of quality for the included studies. We utilized the Methodological Index for Non-Randomized Studies, or MINORS tool. This was adapted with 2 added questions for intervention prevention studies, and a sample question is seen in Figure 2. This research is currently ongoing, with our team performing the data extraction from the included 46 articles. The main outcome we hope to see is a characterization of included studies of universal preventive interventions to create a resource for researchers, practitioners, policymakers, and other key stakeholders to be able to judge the veracity of this body of research. Other outcomes include informing future policy and better understanding the dissemination and implementation of included interventions.